Senator Kevin Lundberg, who turned out, unfortunately, so we lost a real champion of liberty from our state legislature when that happened. But Senator Lundberg carried the flag for us for several years, and I really appreciate his coming to our rally today. Senator Kevin Lundberg.
The West Steps. Thank you. That's what senators, of course. Here I can stand up and do this all for a moment here too. But back in 2013, a good friend of mine came into town to talk about Article 5. His name was Mike Ferris. And when he showed up, I thought, I ought to go too. I ought to see what's up. I've been in the legislature since 2003. And I knew that Article 5 was out there, but I really hadn't looked at it carefully. I was a big advocate for the 10th Amendment, which says federal government has this much authority and then everything else is reserved to the people and the states. But that meeting opened my eyes to the reality that the United States Constitution made provision for the authority of the states in the original document in Article 5. That deals with, of course, amending our Constitution. And I knew as a state legislator that things had gotten out of control in a big way. And I know I'm preaching to the choir here. But way back then, largely through the efforts of the Convention of States organization, we started what we call the State Legislators Article 5 Caucus. And this is an organization that really tries to inform state legislators around the country. We have continued, and we've decided that we'd be better off on our own rather than as a part of COS directly. But we're very supportive of what COS does. And we publish a newsletter every month. It's aimed at state legislators. It's actually emailed to every state legislator in the country. But you can receive that as well if you want. Just go to articlevcaucus.com and give us your email address and we'll send it on to you. But why are we doing this? Because we, the people, need to take back the authority that the Constitution and the 10th Amendment grants us. Because the federal government just can't do it right on their own, and we see that day after day after day after day. Convention of the States resolution is kind of the whole package. It contains all of the elements really necessary to pull that back in and to tell Congress that we the people and we the states of this United States are taking back our authority. Thank you for being a part of that. I know we will prevail. It might take a little more time, but it's when good people do nothing, nothing happens in the right direction. But when we band together, it does get done. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you very much, Senator Lundberg. We really appreciate you being here. We also have with us today another senator, a sitting senator, Senator Jerry Sonnenberg. And he's been a strong supporter of convention states for years. I'd like Senator Sonnenberg please say a few words.
Well, good morning. What a great day to be here and gather. And Senator Lundberg, it's a pleasure to still serve you as it is nothing else as your co-practice. I can't thank you enough for what you're doing. Our forefathers got it right when they put in the Constitution an avenue for us to fix things the federal government won't do. I think it was Mark Twain that said that diapers and politicians need changed on a regular basis, and for the same reason. And we're seeing that more today in Washington than ever before. One of those examples of things that I'm a firm believer is term limits. And we can fix that as well. It's the height of arrogance for those in Washington sitting in Congress to think that nobody can do that job better than they can. The height of arrogance to think that they are above everything and everybody else. That needs change, and we're here to change it. Let me conclude by saying, again, thank you for the work you're doing. This is a long road, but it's a road in which we must travel to take back our country. God bless you, and thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Chart over here at that end of the table you all ought to check out sometime if you haven't looked at it. Shows our progress in petition signatures in Colorado. We increased our petition signatures 30% in 2019. We exceeded 30,000 petition signatures for the first time in the history of this movement. And we are still bringing in new petition signatures at a rate of about 700 a month. It's fantastic progress. Due to the hard work of our volunteers, whom I will introduce in a few minutes. But right now, I'd like to introduce Representative Matt Soper from Delta. Matt has been a very ardent supporter of Convention of States and helped us in many, many ways. He's going to address you, and he's going to introduce some of his colleagues from the House who are also supporters of Convention of States. Representative Soper.
Today to your state capitol building. It's certainly an honor to represent you and to be moving one step closer to being able to getting the Convention of States passed here in Colorado. But it doesn't just take one senator or one House member. It takes actually 33, 18 members to be able to get across the finish line. So that's why there's more than just one person here. I'd like to introduce my fellow House members. Representative Janice Rich from Grand Junction. Representative Colton Larson, who's from the foothills from. Representative Perry Will from Garfield County. We have Representative Mark Baisley over here. Are there any other representatives I'm missing? Well, they're here in spirit. I do want you to know that. I just want to thank you once again for coming and look forward to hopefully visiting with you one-on-one during the lunch as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Representative Soper. Now, I'd like you to look around the crowd, and if any of you is a district captain with Convention of States, would you please raise your hands?
All right.
Anyone who's a grassroots coordinator, state grassroots coordinator, right over here. How about legislative liaison? Where is he?
Where's Evan?
Back there. As a practical matter, how do we make this happen? Well, it's these district captains and these other state leaders who really make things happen because they're the ones who provide information to you, the volunteers, and you, the supporters. And they work diligently every day to make sure that people have the information they need about an Article 5 convention, and in particular, about our agenda for a convention that would consider only three things: federal term limits, federal fiscal responsibility, and reducing the power and scope of the federal government. That's it. No Bill of Rights, no electoral college. That's for other people to worry about. We have enough on our plate with these three big issues. And frankly, folks, if we got one amendment in one of those areas added to our Constitution, it would make a huge difference in the overreaching power of the federal government and our lifelong politicians who make life difficult for so many of us. So please continue your support for Convention of States. Get to know your district captains. Now, in particular, Wayne Wahlberg. Wayne, where's Wayne? Wayne works in areas north of Denver, and he's going to hold up a sign with these district numbers. If you're in these districts, Wayne is interested in meeting you. So please see Wayne if you're interested in more information about convention of states in that part of the state.
And Darrell Rice is with us, and
Darrell Rice over here works very closely with
baby.
We also have, I'd like to particularly thank Charles and Gloria Pope, and here's the reason why. Charles and Gloria live near Cortez. Anybody here know where Cortez is? Okay. And they get in their car, and they drive all the way to the Front Range, repeatedly throughout the year, to conduct events like this. And they do it on their own nickel, by the way. And they have been most responsible. Gloria especially. Charles likes to say he's the Sherpa, and he gives Gloria the credit, and frankly, she deserves it. Because 2 years ago, we could count our active district captains in this state on one hand. And today, I'd say we're exceeding 30 active district captains in the state. I'd also like to thank Carla Pendleton, who unfortunately can't be with us today because she has a local business and she's out of state. But Carla coordinates our information systems. We have very sophisticated online information systems. And Carla leads a team that trains our people, answers questions, fixes problems, really important function so that we all can function as volunteers. And I'd like a round of applause for Carla in absentia. Our legislative liaison, Evan Ela, back here, has got a full-time law practice, and yet he makes time to contact legislators, help others figure out how to contact legislators, get to know legislators. We've made huge progress this year, in large part because of Evan's efforts. Last year we could probably, last year I think we had 2 legislators attend our rally. And now look at how many come. And there were many more who wanted to come, but they had committee conflicts or what have you. We can now count over 30 legislators who will vocally support our resolution in the state legislature. Huge progress in Evan done a lot of years. We could not do what we do without support from Convention of States National. And we do have the unending support from our regional director, who's responsible for 6 states now. 6 states, Grant Martin. Grant's going to come up here. Grant came to see us. He arrived here last night, having been in West Virginia yesterday, and he'll tell you something about what's going on in West Virginia and other of his states. The way this works is people like Grant are assigned to a group of states that have not passed the resolution. And then once a state passes the resolution, and you got one last year, didn't you? Mississippi. You got Mississippi. He lost Mississippi. He had to pass that on to another specialist that works with the states that have passed the resolution, because there's a lot more to do. After the resolution is passed, Grant will help explain that maybe to the volunteers and supporters. So Grant, please address the crowd. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, everybody. First off, I want to give yourselves, I want to hear a round of applause for everybody that showed up here. Please give yourselves for what's important. Not me, not the national organization. It's each and every one of you that promotes and does the things. And I'm blessed to have 6 states to get a chance to travel and see just some of the most amazing grassroots people, activists, people that just love this country. And some of the things that they're willing to do. You hear about Gloria traveling all the distance. Maurice and Roger do the same thing. I hear all the district captains here. They're getting together, meeting with people. That's what it takes. It's so important that we understand what's at stake. You know, and I'm often reminded about this because one of the most impactful stories that ever happened to me as a convention of states when I was a volunteer as state director in Florida. And I called this lady who had applied to be a district captain, and she said something to me that I will never forget. She had an accent. She had immigrated from Cuba when she was 5. She had fled, her and her family had fled the Castro regime. And she made this statement to me. She goes, "Grant, I've lost one country. I can't lose another one." And I want you to think about that for just a second. That is what's at stake. We don't want to lose this wonderful republic. I got a question. Does anybody know what the average lifespan of a constitution is? Worldwide? How long? Close to 20 or 20, 17 years. 17 years. That just shows you the wisdom of that wonderful document that's placed before us. We're really gifted in this country to be on the backs of giants of men and women who created something so special that will outlast. But it's up to us to do the important things and keep that. We're reminded by Benjamin Franklin's statement of, "We gave you a republic if you can keep it," right? Well, that means that we, the people, have to be active. I also want to thank our state legislators, because oftentimes we hear that, there's politicians, they're all bad, they're all corrupt. Well, I'll tell you one thing, something else that I've noticed as I get a chance to travel in 6 states and see different legislators. There's Thomas Jefferson's, there's James Madison's, there's George Washington's in each one of these legislatures, and they're here for you. So I'd like to go ahead and give these state legislators another round. I'll wrap this up by Reese wanted me to talk a little bit about the mission ahead as the state passes. Our mission is not just to pass an Article 5 resolution. If you look at our mission statement on the website, you'll see that it's to build the largest grassroots government, or largest grassroots activist army ever. Why? Because if we just pass a resolution and say we get a wonderful amendment that comes out of the Constitution, or 2 or 3, if we walk away from that, we have failed. If we the people go back into hiding and busy doing just what's in our life and not pay attention to what's going on around us, we'll just be back in the same place. So again, that's truly our mission. It's just Article 5 is the precipice to get us there. I was fortunate last year to be over Mississippi when they passed, and I'll tell you, there's nothing more. There's not a more beautiful feeling to be around the grassroots that work so hard, and when they actually find out that they've passed. And that's going to happen here in Colorado because of the hard work. If you look at that graph right over there, you can see this Colorado team is moving. They are going in the right direction. They're going to keep on going in the right direction. And I thank each and every one of you. Again, hats off to you. My thanks to each one and every one of you.
Thank you very much, Grant. Grant helps us so much, and he trains constantly on the road. We are in a region, including the contiguous states of North Carolina, South Carolina, West Virginia, and Colorado. Not contiguous. Okay. So Grant really has a lot of traveling to do. It's a historic accident, but we're so happy for the accident because he's a really great guy to support us and work with us. I mentioned at the beginning, so I wouldn't forget it, the really important lunch and presentation by Robert Kelly, our General Counsel, following this rally. And I have to thank Representative Lori Sane, who just joined us for making those arrangements. Representative Sane is the chair of the GOP House Caucus in this General Assembly. She made the arrangements. She invited us. It's actually their luncheon, and we're just providing the food. It's their luncheon for the Legislative Caucus. We thank her very much for inviting us to do that. Representative Sane is going to be running for County Commissioner. So anyone who would be interested in supporting Representative Sane in her campaign, please see her. I'm sure she can use all the help she can get. We wish her the best of luck in that campaign coming up in November. Meanwhile, also joining us was supposed to be Representative Harry Buck. But unfortunately, Representative Buck and also Representative Mark Catlin, two who were going to join us, have parents who are in their final days, and they're with their parents, as they should be. So Representative Buck asked Representative Sane, please, to represent her and to deliver some remarks on both of their behalves. I'd like to call on Representative Sane now, too.
So I can see over this podium to talk to you today. It's gratifying to see so many of you here. As you may be aware, the COS movement was helped along in the basement of the Independence Institute along with Senator Lundberg, Senator Vicki Marble, where we started discussing how can we use Article 5 to take control back from an overreaching federal government. And we knew it was going to be a generational effort. So when we first started, we were ridiculed, we were threatened. But now we're being joined with so many people around the state of Colorado. We're being joined by so many legislators who are standing up here with us. And you're part of that movement that's making a huge difference in that conversation. We the states form the federal government, not the other way around. And we need to followed and supported the Convention of States for a long time, and she's admired your ability to basically grow your movement and spread your message. That is so incredibly important. That's due to your dedication to the cause and saving our republic. And you do what you do because you care about our country and our next generations, just like she is. And because of your dedication to the Convention of States, it has grown over 33% in Colorado. One thing I wanted to impress upon all of the members of the General Assembly, both in the House and the Senate, they received this information, that roughly 30% of your movement is Democrats, 30% is Independents, and 30% are Republicans. That's really important. This isn't a right or left issue. This is right-sizing government issue, right? And for everybody who is afraid that something's going to happen at convention, you know what? The runaway convention is a myth, but runaway Congress is right now. Nothing to be afraid of that Congress isn't already doing to us. Right? So thank you so much for being here again. And again, each legislators, they'll be coming up to the room upstairs next to the Supreme Court. I'm anticipating an amazing presentation that not only equip you, but to help equip us. And I just want to let you know, the next generation is coming right behind us. Our aides and interns will be there as well. You will definitely want to equip them as they talk to our constituents when they come into office, so that they can help you in the field, and they will probably be legislators right after us. So that's the next generation, so that's another opportunity to do that generational work. So again, thank you so much.
I'm not very good at prayer. I probably don't have as much practice as I should. But I'd like us all to say a little prayer now. Lord, in our hearts are the families of Representative Buck and Representative Catlin, who are good friends of Convention of States. And we wish them well, and we wish their generations well, and we wish their loved one well, who I know is going to a better place. We thank you for them as public servants. We thank you for their families. And we look forward to seeing them in better times. Amen.
Amen.
Now, I'd like to point out to you that we have a project, and remember, we're volunteers. Just like our legislators really are volunteers. They don't get paid much for all the work they put in. It's not a profitable job. They do it because their hearts are in it. And we do this because our hearts are in it. But we're all volunteers. So sometimes we don't do things perfectly, but we try. So one thing that we're trying is going into this new legislative session, which just started a week or two ago. We want to have some visibility days in this Capitol building. We want to have our volunteers here to see the hats that Gloria's got. We want to have our people in the building wearing those hats and wearing the buttons and any other paraphernalia you want to wear for convention states to show that we're here and be available to the representatives and senators to answer their questions. And just get to make this a more normal thing for those who don't understand the importance of our resolution. Any of you who are interested in participating in that, I know David Graves is going to do it. I know Scott McKay will do it. I know that Tangi Wendorf will do it. And any of you who want to spend some time, Brad will do it, want to spend time here, I'll do it. And I have to come from the Western Slope to do it. So please talk to Gloria when we're done, which is just in a few minutes, and she'll give you more information. As I say, it's a work in process. We're trying to figure out the right way to do it. But we're not going to overthink it. We're just going to go do it. That's why we're making success. We don't overthink it. We just do it. So please see Gloria about that. And the last thing I'd like to say is come to lunch. Okay? It's free. How often do you get a free lunch? And stay for Robert Kelly's presentation. So Robert, if you mind. Robert, where's your hometown?
My hometown is Mission Viejo, California.
Mission Viejo. So he flew in from Mission Viejo today. And Robert is the General Counsel of Convention of States Action. So he has responsibility for all the legal affairs of Convention of States. And he knows anything and everything anybody would want to know about an Article 5 convention or about our organization. He will be addressing the GOP Legislative Caucus after lunch. So please stay for that. It's a unique opportunity. Thank you for coming, Robert. Really appreciate it. Petitions are here. If you don't remember whether you signed a petition, sign it again, because we don't accept duplicates. We'll just, say, okay, we already have you. But we want to make sure you sign the petition. So sign them here. And Loretta? Oh, and Loretta's got them.
There's a big line.
Talk about a dedicated district and regional captain. That's Loretta Perry. They're free too. So when you the last time you got a free cookie, really nice one, the American flag. Pick up literature and so forth. Thank you all for coming. We really appreciate it. Great turnout, and we'll see you at lunch.